Hello, I'm Trace,
And I'm Sam.
and all work and no play makes us silly boys, and this is From Our Perspective.
All right.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. What episode is this?
Who knows, because we skipped the week. Oops!
Whoopsie!
Whoopsie daisy!
All work and no play makes us forget episodes.
Oops. Well, so, yeah, we did forget an episode. Who cares?
Nobody's listening anyway, so...
Yeah, I didn't know that we forgot until you texted me today. You were like, hey, we got to record. We forgot last week. It's 62, by the way.
Cool.
And I was like, oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, dude, I just realized 8
Yeah?
more episodes. No, wait. 7 more episodes.
Counting this one, 7 more. Yeah. We have to do something special. Like read the Kama Sutra or something. But yeah, you texted me and you were like, hey, it's Sunday. We have to record. I was like, I didn't realize that it was Sunday today.
Yeah.
It's like a void. It's like a void of nothingness is what I'm living in. Like, I know we've talked about Corona a couple of times now. But, like, this is... I think, like, when we talked about it before, we were not expecting it to, like... Even when it started to get worse and worse, we were not expecting it to be, like, this bad.
Well, I kind of... Not that I expected it to turn out quite like this, but I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't know how, but...
I just didn't... I don't think I would have...
I mean, is it that bad anymore? I've kind of just gotten used to this.
Yes, it is still bad. I think the U.S.
How bad can it be?
How bad can it be as, like, our like... I don't know. I really haven't been keeping up with anything.
Me neither. I haven't watched the news in a while.
I'm just so tired about it. I'm just so tired about hearing about the coronavirus.
And we talk about it some more.
Yeah. Well,
I like how we personally haven't talked about it in probably about a month, and then as soon as we start recording, we're like, coronavirus.
Well, it's like what else can we talk about?
Stop perpetuating the cycle, Trace.
No, but what else can we talk about? Hey, Sam, what have you done recently?
I wrote a term paper.
Oh, I mean,
Actually,
I guess,
2.
yeah. I guess you could talk about the fact that your semester's over.
It is over, thank God.
I've got a little bit of time left.
I'm so sorry.
Early May. I think the 8th is about when it's supposed to be done. So, yeah. I mean, other than that, what have you been up to, Sam? Since we can't talk about the thing that's ravishing the world.
Well, let's see.
Taking the world by storm.
Other than homework, I've just been relaxing.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and shooting some b-ball outside the school?
No, I haven't, because you're not allowed to do that.
Well, you're allowed to social distance if you go outside. And I know you haven't been... I know you haven't been doing the perfect social distancing, sir.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So watch yourself, Budro.
I think everybody should be required to wear a giant 6-foot hoop around themselves.
Yeah, like a big old hula hoop.
Yeah. I think that would help.
I mean, like I said...
if we have nothing to talk about, we could just move on.
Well, it's not that I don't have anything to talk about. It's just like I can talk. You know me. I can talk. I can conjure up some shit out of nowhere. I just don't have anything like new to discuss. I made a painting. I told you about that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I hate the painting I made. Oh,
sure
our little.
Fun.
I've been doing a lot of doodling and art and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know our little boys that you helped me create.
Yeah. They're just a bunch of fun guys.
Bunch of fun little fellas. I've been doodling a lot. I've been I think I sent you those 2 post-it notes I doodled earlier while I was waiting for my computer to boot up while I was trying to do homework. And I think that my art at least drawing faces, I've definitely improved a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would like to say that those were pretty good faces for a little, like, 10 to 15 second doodle.
Yeah, they were.
So, I don't know. That's what I've been doing. I made a painting. I absolutely abhor it. It's a horrible painting. It was, so what I was doing was I knew that I had art supplies. I knew I had some acrylic and some oil paint. I knew I had a couple of canvases left over. I mean, I've had these canvases. So I followed along to a Bob Ross episode and made this little landscape. It turned out a lot better than I expected it would. It's not perfect, but like it's not horrible.
Yeah, and then we did it, remember?
And then we did it. Mine was god awful. I really liked yours.
Thank you.
But that's when we actually tried to use oil paint like Bob does. Because he does a technique called wet on wet. Well,
did we have enough base stuff on the canvas? I don't think we
did.
No,
we didn't. We did not. We also didn't really... So
we did a fun technique called wet on dry.
Yeah. We also didn't wash like any of the paintbrushes that we used. So that was fun.
Change the water and stuff too.
Yeah. So I had to get rid of like half of my paintbrushes. I tried to salvage them. I salvaged like 2 or 3 of them. Anyway, I was like, I know I have art supplies. I know I have canvases left over. I went and I looked for it. I found it. And I pulled out a canvas, pulled out all my paints. I was like, do I want to try oil or do I want to do acrylic? I settled on oil. I have more oil paint. So and here's the other thing. I had no plan whatsoever for what I wanted to paint.
Okay.
I didn't have an idea of what I wanted. I didn't like draw anything on the canvas with a pencil before, so like outline anything. I just started painting. So I start to do a base of white. And I'm just kind of screwing around with it. I do about half of it, and I realize that I'm really running through my white. So I'm like, what is another color I could do like a base of? So it's purple. I choose purple. Gone off.
So the painting's already ruined.
Well, no. I've done half of my canvas in white. I like do the thing where I like give the oil paint texture, and then I do the other half purple. So it's like it's purple and white meet in the middle. And as I was sitting there, I kept like noticing, and I kept like feeling, because I was just like, I turned on some psychedelic rock music, and I just was like, what do I feel like I want to paint? And I kept seeing like an eye right in the middle of the canvas.
Okay.
I started to paint the eye, and I was like, this looks more like lips. So I made lips. So it's almost like a really bad 80s advertisement for Dairy Queen. It's been sitting on my ground for a couple days. And I hate to be so crude, but if you do not look at it the right way, it kind of looks like a vagina.
Oh, yikes!
Because I did it in like hot dog form, or no? Would that be hamburger? I did it horizontally.
Okay.
So if you hold the painting vertically,
the other way.
If you look at it vertically, which is the way I can see it right now, it does look like women's privates.
It's like that episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where his mom does a sculpture and it looks like a vagina.
That's pretty good. That's prime content right there.
Well, and she didn't know it, and he noticed, and then he slowly tells everybody in the family, and then they all see it.
And then everyone, what was it like actually supposed to be? Like a flower or something?
No, it was abstract.
Oh.
So it's just it was just a thing of marble.
And she just started sculpting it, and it just turned out to look like a vagina.
Yeah. Fake.
Or a vagine.
Yeah. Anyway. What the hell is this show anymore?
Who knows? We just talk. We just have a time. Anyway, this week, I was inspired because today I was doing homework. I took a break because I had 2 quizzes to do, had some stuff to do. Took a break, and I was scrolling through Facebook as you do, and I saw 2 separate lists of like fan theories that completely changed this show. So I was reading through them, and I was like, these are just so bizarre. Or there are plenty of them that are bizarre. Not all of them are like that crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, what if that's what we talk about?
Did you know that they like secretly didn't do this or something?
Well, a common theme.
It's a bad example.
I feel like we'll get on this more, but a common theme is someone was secretly dead the whole time, or they were all secretly dead the whole time, or someone was in a coma. Yeah, coma comes out a lot. Purgatory. Those are common themes.
It's all very bleak.
Yeah, nothing
Mainly
is like
people are just sad, I guess.
Yeah, nothing ever is like, and then they lived they actually, instead of the bleak ending we got, they lived happily ever after.
Yeah, it was a happy ending instead.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about fan theories. Who wants to start, me or you?
You go ahead.
Okay, this is one I've heard. I'm on I don't know what the EW. I don't know what like website that it actually is. Entertainment Weekly. It's Entertainment Weekly. Entertainment Weekly has 20 fan theories that completely changed the show. Apparently, jaw-dropping. They say these come from 20 jaw-dropping TV and movie fan theories.
I have a question, Trace.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we get started.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever said jaw-dropping outside of, like, a news article title or something?
Jaw drop. That made my jaw literally fall to the floor. I just said it. Anyway. So this one is one I've heard. And it's based off of a Easter egg.
Okay.
So, whatever. Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead. If you've never heard of either of these shows, they both run on AMC. So there have been nods. They started... I think The Walking Dead started when Breaking Bad was ending. Because I think Walking Dead started in 2010 and Breaking Bad ended in 2010. Okay. There's like Easter eggs included in the first season. Through 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, Walter White was essentially responsible for many horrific events. I'm gonna skip through. They include lists. I don't want to spoil it, just because it's such a good show. But a fan theory that has been given new life ponders whether his drug empire could have also resulted in the zombie apocalypse on The Walking Dead. The most interesting and plausible sign that The Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead is the presence of blue meth in both series. The seed for this theory was planted in the second episode of The Walking Dead, in which Merle, who is a character on the show, secret drug stash strikes quite the resemblance to the product that turned Walter White into a kingpin. Further hints at a possible connection between the AMC dramas include a red sports car and characters named Glenn. Who? What? I know who Glenn. What? Like, why do 2 characters named? Yeah, Glenn Close. 2 characters both named Glenn Close. Separate people and also not the actor.
Did you say red car?
There's a red sports car, and I know which one they're talking about. In Breaking Bad, there's a red sports car that Walter buys his son towards the end of the series. And the same exact sports car, well, I don't know if it's the same one, but the same make, model, and color shows up I think it's either the middle or the end of the first season of The Walking Dead.
Wasn't Breaking Bad like in like New Mexico or something?
Yeah. And
isn't The Walking Dead like Georgia?
The first season is set in Atlanta, yes.
Yeah, so what the hell are these people talking about?
Well, I could see where, because
I can see how his car got there. Yeah.
Well, no, not that. I can see the meth thing because Walter.
I agree. There is meth in Georgia, and there's meth in New Mexico.
But specifically, I know you haven't seen either. Well, you've seen like the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen Breaking Bad, and there's like towards the end of it, he's like dealing in large quantities of meth, like hundreds of pounds of meth that is being distributed all over the world.
That's happening in real life, though.
What I'm saying, and his specifically was the blue, so I can see that connection. Okay. But all it was an Easter egg. Like it was just they hold up, they're like looking for medicine. For medical supplies, he's like, well, my brother was like, he took drugs. He pulls out this bag. There's a bunch of pill bottles because he did pills. And then at the bottom, there's like this probably 10-pound bag of meth. And it's blue, which is distinct. And it's like, that's what Breaking Bad has. It's blue meth. Because meth is typically like clear or white.
Okay.
So basically, yeah. It also alludes to... Merle's drug dealer as a janky little white guy who Daryl quotes as saying, "I'm gonna kill you, bitch." Breaking Bad's Jesse Pinkman does fit that physical description and sure did have a penchant for saying the word bitch. So that's the tie-in. That's where people think that they're related, those two shows.
That's, I don't think that would hold up in court, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I agree. It's what it was. It was an Easter egg. It was a nod to a show.
I can tell you that it's probably about 1,000 times more likely than what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Mine is the Count feeds on the children of Sesame Street.
That is... Yep. You know what? I actually believe that.
Oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Even more outrageous is the belief among some fans that Count Von Count is a blood-sucking Muppet vampire who preys on the children of Sesame Street. The number of obsessed vampire lures kids to his lair under the guise of teaching them math so he can feed on their youth. So it's just that he's a vampire, like for real.
He's like a real vampire.
That's just the theory.
Here's what backs it up for me. How long has the Sesame Street been on the air?
A while.
Yeah, let's just say there were some kids in the 80s who I haven't seen on Sesame Street since then.
Okay.
So
I thought you were going to say he hasn't aged.
Coincidence? I think not. Well, by that logic, then all of them are vampires.
Well, that's kind of horrifying too, though.
I think Big Bird is like has been perpetually like 4 years old since he was created.
Oh, it's Elmo's like a kid, right? And
Big Bird is also very young. Like I think he's like a child.
I thought Big Bird had like a man voice.
Big Bird talks like this. I swear to God, he does.
A man doing like a kid voice then.
Yeah. He also is the one who has a giant imaginary friend.
And he's the giant bird.
And he is a big bird. Hence the name. Snuffleupagus.
And he's a vampire.
And he is a vampire.
They're all vampires. That's my theory.
That's plausible because they've all stayed the same age.
Maybe we should give our own theories.
Okay. So we'll make a theory about the show.
Dead.
I was about to say one, and then I realized that it wasn't really a fan theory. It was kind of like what the creator imagined. How I was going to say it was started by aliens, but the guy who made the comic and the TV show was like, yeah, it was probably an alien disease that made zombies. So
it was actually COVID 22.
Yeah.
So
COVID 20. Yeah. Okay. They're all vampires. Let's move on with it.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar famous actress, circulated a 2013 fan theory about the movie Grease in September 2016 once it resurfaced. Wait, this is a quote from her. Wait, this has blown my mind. Has anyone heard this theory about the movie #Grease? The actress wrote on Facebook.
I have not heard of the movie #Grease.
Yeah, I've heard of Grease and Grease 2, but #Grease is not one in my repertoire. Yeah.
That's the update. That's like the remake.
Yeah, that's the new one that's going to come out.
It's real nice and out of touch.
Yeah. It's like a movie made in 2020 that should have been made in like 2013. Which is why that's when the original fan theory came out, so that's why she said, "Have you heard about the theory about #Grease?"
There we go.
At the end of the movie, continues Sarah Michelle Gellar. At the end of the movie, Danny Zuko and Sandy Olsen fly off in a red convertible as they wave goodbye to their friends on the solid ground below. Which, now this is me speaking, not Sarah Michelle Gellar. I've always been so confused by the ending of Grease. Why do they fly away?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen Grease. They fly away in a car.
They fly away in a car at the end.
Like the end of Back to the Future?
Similar, but he doesn't go... It doesn't, like, make sense because he's never claimed to be, like, a scientist who cracked time travel.
Yeah.
I could understand if he was, why their car would fly. But he wasn't. He was just some greaser.
Yeah, okay, so their car flies. What about that?
That's real. That's not a fan theory. I just want to make sure you know that. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Is someone's dead?
Yeah, that's the theory.
Both of them, I'm guessing.
So they wave goodbye to their friends.
They're both dead and they're flying off to heaven. That's it, right?
We'll see. They wave to their friends on solid ground below, leading to the conclusion that the flying car was the final result of Sandy's fantasy, as in she's dead. During the song Summer Nights, Danny and Sandy recount how they first met and started a summer fling. The line, "I saved her life, she nearly drowned," suggests that Sandy actually did drown, and the whole movie is an elaborate musical fantasy due to the lack of oxygen getting to her brain. I don't know why that's funny. The flying red convertible also suggests that Sandy is happily being whisked away to heaven at the end of the movie. Wait, what? Says that's the end of the quote. Wait, what? I didn't say wait, what.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The line is, saved her life.
I saved her life. She nearly drowned. But it's saying that what if she did actually drown?
It explicitly says
but here's the thing.
Not die.
Here's the thing. So in the mind of this theory, she is drowning. Like, as this movie is happening, she is currently drowning. She is choking on water at the beach, and John Travolta is swimming towards her as this movie is playing out in her brain that currently lacks oxygen.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe what it's saying, like, to make it more believable, maybe like her brain is like, I'm drowning, but I probably won't. He'll save me. So it's like her brain is filling in as if she did not drown.
Okay.
But then how would you get all the perspective? Like, if she's thinking about all of this, how would you get, like, the parts where she's not in the scene at all?
Yeah, not present. She's just imagining this.
She's imagining a bunch of boys sing about a car that is so hot it makes girls literally come.
God.
That musical's crazy.
Is that the theory?
That's the theory, is that she's actually dying.
What's a theory that we could come up with?
The car is actually an Autobot, and it's flying away to help Optimus Prime defeat the Decepticons.
No, here's my theory.
Okay.
John Travolta is young Doc Brown.
Okay.
Back to the Future. He takes time travel technology back to himself.
And he's
in the
like,
flying
instead
car,
of the
and he's like,
DeLorean, because the DeLorean's old Doc Brown thing.
Yeah, the
I'll
young
give
Doc
you
Brown's like, I'll put it in this cool car that makes ladies come.
He also did give young Doc Brown cum technology. And Doc Brown did say, change your name to Dr. Emmett Brown instead of Danny Zuko.
Yeah, as soon as you fly away with that girl.
Change your name and kill her, I guess, because she doesn't show up in the Back to the Future franchise. Push her out of the car.
She drowns.
She drowns. He didn't save her life that time. She did. Well, here's the thing. Well, so Danny Zuko is like let's see how believable our theory is. Danny Zuko is like a senior in high school.
The problem starts because Doc Brown is around in like the 50s, and that's like when Grease is happening.
Oh yeah, that is true. I was about to say Grease is happening in the 50s, so it would make sense
if Grease was happening in like 1910.
Yeah. And he's like
1930 or something maybe.
And he's like teenage Dr. Emmett Brown.
Yeah.
Okay. Not believable. Not believable.
Okay. I want you to finish this.
Okay.
The Fresh Prince is
dead. Or in a coma.
You got it. He's dead.
Okay.
Some fans of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air are convinced that Will is dead.
Wait. Why do they all of them, have to do with someone being dead?
Because I don't know. I don't know why that's a thing.
It's ridiculous.
Do people want their characters to be dead?
Yes, I do.
Things can't just be happy.
I want all of my favorite characters from all of my favorite movies and TV shows to be dead.
Their theory fixates on the sitcom's opening theme song, which states that Will Smith was hanging out, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, if you will.
Yeah, I sang that part of the song earlier.
Yeah, you did. Who were up to no good came along.
Yeah.
The song goes.
Yeah.
He goes into one little fight, and his mom got scared and told him he'd have to move in with Auntie and Uncle in Bel Air.
Yeah.
But
you're really selling it.
Thank you. What? Okay. I'm going to read this for a second.
Well, wait. Here's my thing.
Fans believe...
I'll let you read, actually. Go ahead.
No. What were you going to say?
Here's my thing. He does say that he only got into a fight. So, like, are they implying that before the series even starts, because the first thing you see is the song. Like, I don't remember the first episode having to do with him actually getting into the fight and him actually moving. I think I distinctly remember it, and I could be wrong.
Well, this article posits, but what if Will never made it to Bel Air and instead died in that fight?
Okay,
These fans believe it was God himself who drove the rare cab to take Will to the Banks mansion, in this case, heaven, which he refers to as his kingdom.
Okay, now wait. His uncle and aunt do live there. And so does his cousin Carlton. Maybe
they're all dead.
This is my theory, and it's similar. They are dead. Will is dead, but so is that whole side of his family.
Yes.
Now, here's how it happened.
They were relaxing, all cool like.
Well, he didn't die in the fight, because then, like, why is he going to Bel Air? He does get into a fight.
He died.
He lives through the fight. It's just a common, like, scrap.
Yeah.
He's on the plane going to Bel Air. The plane runs out of fuel and crashes into their actual mansion. And then they all die together.
And they're ghosts.
And then they're all ghosts. And then all of the other characters in the show that aren't him and his family were passengers on the flight.
Ah, okay.
So, like, the butler... Well, maybe the butler was the butler. But, like, some of his friends and the people from his school... Maybe the school was really close to the plane crash too, and that also blew up then.
It just like went down a whole street.
It went down all of Bel Air. Anyway.
God. Okay.
That's a dumb theory. Jack.
We need to. Oh, that was yours, right?
Yeah. Jack from the Titanic is actually from the future.
He's Doc Brown.
He's Doc.
He's young Doc Brown.
He's even younger Doc Brown. So Doc Brown goes from handsome Leonardo DiCaprio to in the 50s, he's both Christopher Lloyd and John Travolta at the same time.
The timeline's all messed up. It's
because he went back and talked to himself. Could Jack Dawson's intentions for saving Rose and Titanic have been something other than love? Well, okay. The sign seems to point to yes. One fan theory posits that Jack is actually a time traveler who came back in time to keep Rose from committing suicide, because that would have caused a delay in the ship's course and potentially kept the Titanic from crashing. So wait. Yeah.
I think we both realized the bad part of this.
This is like the trolley problem. This is the trolley problem, okay?
And he picked the wrong one.
Should I say? Do I let 5 people die, or do I press a button and let 1 person die? But instead of that,
how about I press a button and kill 5 people?
yeah. Do I let this 1 person die, or do I save her and kill thousands of people? I don't know how many people were on the Titanic. Kill a lot of people and also myself. Bro, he was totally in it for the puss. There is no way he was not in it for the love. Like, even if he was a time traveler, he like saw this clipping. He's like from 20.
Maybe he's like the time police, and it's his job to make sure things happen correctly. It's not like it's all business. It's not.
Well, there was this cut. No, So he's the time police. There's this cut. There's this whole cut plot. Like there's a C plot. And there's a guy who you find out is a time traveler, and he comes back, and he's like right at the beginning of the movie, he's whispering into Rose's ear as she sleeps, like, "You're worthless. The world would be better off without you.
Do it. No one would care."
And
he breaks into the room and sees him. Yeah.
Well, no, he does. He just like goes and he saves her, and they fall in love. So he's the time police, and then luckily, Philip Seymour Hoffman is a time criminal in the C plot. It's a crazy movie.
Okay. It's crazy.
Yeah, basically.
I like our theory about it.
Oh, okay. So, some signs that Jack is from. So here's the evidence. Jack is from the future include his anarchistic fashion. His haircut and backpack weren't common until later, and he mentions of man-made structures that weren't yet created in 1912. A roller coaster on Santa Monica Pier and Lake Wissota. So basically, they think that the fact that whoever wrote the screenplay didn't do...
That James Cameron didn't do his research.
Did he write it?
I don't know.
Yeah, but basically, James Cameron didn't do his research, so Jack Dawson is a time traveler.
Well, how about this? I have a different theory.
Okay.
How about all those things are wrong because Rose is actually telling the story, and she's narrating that part where she's not around him. Yeah. So it's like maybe he made those things up to sound more interesting.
Okay.
Or something. Or maybe she's misremembering.
What if the Titanic...
It's like the Mandela effect.
What if this whole time the Titanic was actually in a coma?
Yeah.
The actual boat.
At the bottom of the ocean.
The boat was in a coma.
It'll wake up soon.
Yeah. Well, aren't they building the Titanic too, or is that a joke?
Yeah, I don't know. I've
heard that they are.
You're really asking for it, aren't you?
Yeah, and they're like, this one is actually unsinkable, and we're going to take the same exact route Like, bro, come on.
Like, come on.
Isn't there like a really famous saying called, or that goes something like history repeats itself?
Yeah.
So I've seen those articles, and I've seen that there's like another article where like this huge chunk of Antarctica broke off and is now floating north. And I think even the world is like, we're fucking taking this ship down.
We're not letting this get to the other side.
We can't let this thing land in New York.
Maybe that's something. Maybe if it gets to New York, like
the world ends.
The world ends.
That's what I was thinking. Like he has to let the ship sink because like Hitler 2 is on the ship. Okay. Baby Hitler 2 is on the ship, and he's gonna wreak havoc in like Canada. He'll land in New York and go to Canada.
Yeah.
Unless that ship sinks and that baby dies.
Oh my god.
Look, I'm saying, I mean, it's Baby Hitler, dude. Baby Hitler 2, dude. What are you like, a fan of him?
No.
Yeah, get out of here, bro. Okay, it's your turn.
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead now.
My next one is actually, it's not related to the show. It is about the show, but it's more about the real world.
Okay.
This one is the U.S. government canceled Firefly.
Okay. Firefly. I've never seen Firefly, but I've heard that it's like it's a very I don't think it's underrated anymore. Everyone always talks about how fucking great it was, but it was one of those that was canceled before its time.
Yeah, didn't it only have makes it better?
Yeah, didn't it only have one season?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Although it had a loyal fan base and was generally well received by critics, Joss Whedon's sci-fi drama Firefly was canceled in 2002 after airing just 11 episodes. While Fox claims the decision to cancel Firefly was based purely on its low ratings, conspiracy theorists are convinced that the U.S. government had something to do with the demise of the space opera. The show focuses on a group of independent outlaws who fight for civil rights under the oppression of... Yeah, who cares about that? Who subscribed to the theory, the powers that be weren't pleased with the anti-government sentiment expressed by the show. What's more, they point out while the show was airing, the Bush administration was trying to build a case for the Iraq War.
Like I said, I haven't seen Firefly. Does it typically, like, in an episode, do they go, fuck the U.S. government every once in a while?
Yeah, there's a scene where...
Alan Tudyk
pees on an American flag. And he says, I hate America.
And his piss is actually gasoline, and he lights it on fire.
Sets it on fire. And he does this funny little dance.
But that's unrelated to his anti-American plot. He just starts dancing.
That's how every episode starts, as he does that. You can tell they did it. You can tell it's different shots, though. They didn't just reuse the same one.
Oh, that's good. They like made sure he was in a different costume each time.
Yeah, like one was a bunny suit.
Yeah. None of them like had anything to do with the plot. He just had a different like you said. There was Halloween a bunny costume. Suit. One of them was
sexy nurse.
Yeah, he was a sexy nurse. There's a ninja. 80s basketball player. That was my favorite one I saw. And then the last one on the 11th episode was Mario.
Yeah. This didn't happen. It's not true.
Are you sure?
I guarantee you that. I can't be positive, of course, but
sounds to me like you're working for the government, Sam.
Sounds to me like you're working for Hitler too.
Sounds like me. You're working for Baby Hitler too in Canada right now.
Okay.
Where's your location, Sam? Are you in Alberta?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got one. I haven't watched Firefly.
I think the Swedish government closed it down.
Yeah, everyone knows that the Swedish government was working on abolishing. Think about when
IKEA got big.
Well, yeah, it was around when IKEA got big, and they were currently working on abolishing space civil rights.
Well, IKEA was founded in 1943, But
it wasn't big until 2002.
Yeah, let's look up.
What are we looking up? Space civil rights and how Sweden was trying to abolish them at the time?
Exactly. IKEA came to America in 1985, so we're a little off.
No, it still wasn't big.
When did IKEA get big?
We don't have to look that up. It was in 2002. I know it.
Okay, well, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was it.
Well, yeah, like I said, it was mostly the space civil rights thing.
Yeah.
My next one. Have you seen the show Futurama?
I have.
Great show. I love that show so much. It's so funny. Well, this one comes from that show. What if it didn't? I was just like, have you seen Futurama? Anyway, this one's about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. No, this one, Bender wasn't the Bender we know in the Futurama pilot. Bender is the silly robot. Yeah, he's the silly robot. He says, "Bite my shiny metal ass." I love Bender.
What's different? Please continue.
The Bender that all Futurama fans know is a reckless, misanthropic criminal. But according to a fan theory, the foul-mouthed robot is only this way due to an electrical issue that we see in the pilot. In the show's first episode, Bender is uncharacteristically depressed after learning that he has been making suicide booths. Another important facet of the theory is when Bender reboots, his personality is set to a mode that befits his surroundings, which happens in the episode where he becomes a penguin. The theory states that when Bender gets electrocuted in the Hall of Criminals, he reboots to a criminal personality himself. So this one I could see makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially since they have that specific trait from a different episode. And I remember what episode they're talking about. He like bonks his head or something. And and then he thinks he's a penguin. Okay. He's walking around in a little tuxedo with a bunch of other penguins.
How does that episode resolve?
I think he reboots again. I don't remember.
Is he in the same Hall of Criminals or whatever?
Well, I don't remember. I really don't remember how it's resolved. It could be like they redo his hard drive or something to his previous setting. I really don't know how he stops being a penguin. So this one to me so far has been the most believable, but I don't think that the writers were thinking about that.
Probably not, but I would agree that that's the most convincing. Because it's not like, well, Bender was dead the whole time. It's not one of those.
It's not like Bender, everything is a figment of Bender's imagination.
Yeah, he was actually a computer program.
Yeah, or something like that.
It's not like...
But that's actually, it's kind of an ensemble thing. But I mean, I guess Fry.
That's actually Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Goes to the future.
Yeah, he has to get back to the future in one episode.
Yeah.
Well, actually, like my theory is that everyone is a figment of Bender's imagination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so because like a freaking giant alien lobster, what the heck?
What the heck?
What the actual heck? What the freaking show?
My next one.
Yeah.
Is the Flintstones takes place in a post-apocalyptic future.
This is another one that I've always heard.
This is 3 paragraphs. Really? I have to read this?
This show is actually about after the Cold War, but actually the freaking nukes dropped. That's like, that joke theory I just gave was probably fan theories for 30 different TV shows. After the Cold War, the Flintstones happened. After the Cold War, SpongeBob happened. After the Cold War, I could keep going.
I think there is a SpongeBob is the result of
nuclear testing. Yeah, because there's an island in the Pacific called Bikini something.
This theory says basically, why are they using like modern technology, but not like. Why are they, like, replacing modern technology if they don't know what that is? And it's
why do they have a dishwasher that's run by like an octopus or something?
Yeah, why do they have need a garbage disposal or a record player? If not to replicate how their society once was.
Maybe. And here's a good one.
The fan theory points that the worlds inhabited by the Jetsons and the Flintstones exist concurrently.
Yeah, because they do visit each other.
So the Jetsons are like in space, and that's what happened to Earth. Dinosaurs are back for some reason.
We're back, a dinosaur story.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my theory.
Okay.
Is the reason it's like that is because it's a cartoon.
What?
It's been a cartoon this whole time. The Flintstones wasn't real. And it was a cartoon family sitcom based on life in the 60s.
My conspiracy theory is this. They made this cartoon so they could sell vitamin gummies.
You know too much.
No, stop. I'm sorry.
Pulls out gun. Pulls out gun and shoots you through computer.
All right, what's your next one? I think we'll do one more each.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends on how quick these are.
That's true.
Okay, yeah. I was looking through the rest of them. I think I gotta do. Oh. Okay. I'll do the one that was next. Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Famous kids show. Great show. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby-Doo is about kids trying to escape the draft. Show was popular. It premiered late 60s. So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it checks out.
The cartoon mystery franchise, Scooby-Doo. Never
question.
really... Yeah?
Did they get the memo that the Vietnam War and stuff is over?
Probably not.
Did they get that memo?
The guys over at Warner Brothers or Hanna-Barbera or whoever makes Scooby-Doo, the guys over there were like, that's still going on, right? And they were like, yeah, let's make a crazy killer show about kids who don't like the government.
Yeah, and then the U.S. government shut them down.
Yeah, after 11 episodes.
Yeah.
The cartoon mystery franchise Scooby-Doo never really explained why a ragtag group of 4 dissimilar teenagers decided to travel in a van to no known destination. So a fan was forced to develop a theory. Now they make it sound like they're like the guy, like someone, like whatever Barbera, whatever his first name was, shows up to someone's house, knocks on the door, points a gun at him, and says, "Explain Scooby-Doo. Explain it. Why are they doing it?
I need answers."
As the show premiered in 1969, the same year as the height of the Vietnam War, the Scooby Gang is driving to Canada to escape the draft. The theory posits that the clean-cut Fred was drafted but ran away to be with his fiancée Daphne. Hippie Shaggy and activist Velma join them as they both oppose the war as well. Now, here's the thing. Fred and Daphne aren't engaged.
This is
I don't think.
theory.
Well, they were never engaged.
My problem with this is they come across like an old cowboy town in like episode 3.
You know the episodes?
Which means they're going like the wrong way.
They're bad at driving. They didn't have GPS back then, Sam.
I guess that's true.
Where are those Scooby people driving? Where are they driving to?
They're solving mysteries, obviously.
They're Mystery Incorporated.
That's what they do.
They do explicitly talk about how they have a mystery solving company.
It's on the side of the fucking van.
It is called the Mystery Machine. Yeah, maybe this fan theory isn't very solid. What's your counter theory?
Okay. That Shaggy does drugs and
Shaggy is a stoner and he smokes a lot of weed and that is why Scooby talks and he always has the munchies. Dude, I have the funniest joke about Scooby-Doo. What if Shaggy was a stoner?
Fred and Daphne are having sex.
And Shaggy was a stoner. Oh my god.
Okay,
if I ever hear anyone else talk about how they think Shaggy smoked weed, of course he did, dude.
Well, it's like that really good joke about Mario, where it's like, oh, he takes mushrooms, and then
Mario is always eating mushrooms.
Takes some mushrooms.
What the freak is happening?
Okay, my last one, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Jessica Fletcher.
Who?
Are you familiar with the name?
No.
This is the main character of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh,
Angela Lansbury.
Okay. I always forget that Angela Lansbury is the actress's name.
Yes. Jessica Fletcher is a serial killer.
Okay. I kind of like... This one's interesting, at least. Not believable.
It's believed that Jessica Fletcher, on Murder, She Wrote, is not just an author who writes mysteries, but is actually a serial killer who disguises herself as a novelist and amateur detective. Who else could Jessica Fletcher... How? I have problems reading. How else
So do I sometimes.
could Jessica Fletcher again and again randomly stumble upon a dead body and later on figure it out who the murderer is? Consider, too, that Fletcher lives in a cozy coastal town of Cabot Cove, Maine, population 3,500. During the 12 years the show was on, 268 people were murdered. Typically make Cabot Cove the murder capital of the world. Either killers are flocking to the New England village, or Jessica Fletcher is a serial murderer whose gentle and pleasant British demeanor serves to throw people off her trail.
Now, here's my biggest problem with it. Like, it's at least kind of a funny one to me.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my problem with it. That would make her the most prolific serial killer in the history of history.
Yeah, 268 people.
Like, there are soldiers whose job it is to kill people who don't kill that many people.
Here's my problem with it. You can't fault a murder mystery show for having lots of murders in it. Like, if the show doesn't happen, that doesn't happen.
It had too many murders.
Too many murders. Well, it's like... I guess I understand where it's coming from, because, like... in a show like... What's another murder mystery show?
CSI.
Anyway, I think
I can't think. I mean,
the size of the town, I guess, is a pretty good factor too.
That's true. I get. I don't. It's a weird one. Like, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
To think that this old lady's just murdering people left and right.
My theory is this.
My theory?
That she, like, hulks out, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and kills people.
Yeah, like, she's not meaning to do it.
Yeah, and she solves her own murders, in a sense. Except she doesn't, because she blames it on someone else.
Yeah, that's also funny to me. The fact that, like, she's she's murdering people and then pegging it on another person.
She framed 268 people.
What if the last episode she's like, I know who did it. It was me all along. And then she just, like, she holds out her hand. She's like, cuff me, boys.
Slap them on. Okay. Why don't you tell us what happened today in history? Because I know you looked it up.
Yeah, I did. So today in history, I'm definitely not looking it up right now. Today in history, today is April the 27th.
Ignore that typing sound you're hearing.
Okay, I will. Today is April the 27th. Mm-hmm. Today in history, in 1791, Samuel Morse, American inventor of the telegraph and Morse code, And also he was a painter. I didn't know that. Was born in Charlestown, Massachusetts.
Well, how about that?
Guy who made Morse code. Born today. A billion years ago. Congratulations. One fact that not a lot of people know about this day and the day of his birth was he actually at about the age of 18 he went to the past and had to make sure that his mother and father fell in love.
Okay.
Because he was so hot. He was so hot as a teenager that his mom wanted to bone him.
Yeah, and he had to meet up with the guy
Danny Zuko.
Yeah.
Slash Dr. Emmett Brown, as he's later known.
Slash Leonardo DiCaprio.
Slash Jack Dawson. I haven't seen Titanic, to be honest.
Really?
I've never really cared to.
It's not that great.
Maybe I'll watch it just because my favorite actress and the love of my life, Kathy Bates, is in it.
She's good.
I watched Misery the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It's very good. She's very creepy. But yeah. Anyway, that's what happened today. Samuel Morse was born. Oh yeah. Do you have something then, Budrow?
I just wanted to say that.
I just wanted to say that I love being here. I love talking to you.
I just love the crowd tonight.
Woo!
No, he called them beeps and boop boos.
He called it beep and boop boo code.
He was beep boop boop boo. That's what he would do.
Yeah, before it became Morse code years after he died.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, it was like you brought up. It was previously beep and boop boo code.
Yeah. But
and
like, that sounds a little silly.
It sounds a little silly. It could be misconstrued as something inappropriate. It's also kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you know beep and boop boo code?
And you're like,
yeah, of course.
Excuse me, are you having a stroke? That's what people say.
Yeah, that's what they would say. And then you would say, I smell burnt toast.
Yeah. It
becomes this whole thing.
Everyone would laugh.
But yeah, instead of like, you would have to say like, an A is, I don't know beep and boop boo code. An A is 1 beep and 2 boop boos or something like that. Instead of like short long.
Yeah.
Or dot dash. That is true.
Very.
Look it up. Anyway, let's go to Sam's Holiday Corner since we're rambling on.
I would like to point out that it is Morse code day.
Is it because he was born?
Yeah,
I was about to say that's
a crazy coincidence.
And then I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Morse code day is on the same day he was born.
You don't have to make fun
of me. Today is Matanzas Mule Day.
Hell yeah, it is.
Whereas National Mule Day celebrates all mules, today we remember just one, the Matanzas mule. On April 27th, 1898, during the beginning stages of the Spanish-American War, the United States Navy fired on Matanzas, a city on the north shore of Cuba. One casualty of the bombardment was a mule, and the Spanish buried it.
I don't know why I was imagining. I'm sorry for interrupting. I don't know why I was imagining like everyone in this town dies except for a mule.
No, it seems that he did die.
It was only a mule.
I like to visualize this as a cartoon so that it doesn't seem like the mule got hurt, but him just like standing there and then just like this giant artillery slug just slamming into the side of it.
Well, like this. There, you just see like this old ship. It's like it's like a 1920s cartoon, so it's like bouncing from side to side.
Yeah.
Like a rubber. I think that's called like rubber hose style. To a jolly little tune, and then it shoots out this big. It looks like an atomic bomb, is what it looks like. It shoots out, and it hits the mule, and
the artillery cannon has to go like a mouth.
it does a mouth thing and it like coughs a bunch and smoke comes out when it coughs.
Yeah.
And then it like hits the mule, makes a big mushroom cloud, and then after the cloud dissipates, you just see like the mule covered in ash, and its two eyes are the only things like you can see.
And then they blink.
The mule falls into a pile of dust. The eyes stay where they are. It goes ting ting, and then the eyes fall, and then they like bury the ashes.
And it's very sad. They bury
it's very sad.
With a full military honors.
Now, what would really happen?
About 200 people
were
present for its burial.
Now, full military honors at that time, wouldn't that like include like a sword or something?
I don't know.
Now, what probably actually happened is that mule got viscerated into a mist of blood.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's today. Go pet a mule, I guess.
And pet it in Morse code.
Yeah, there you go.
So like spell out things to it, because mules know Morse code.
They can speak it.
It'll tap its hoof to communicate with you.
That's where he learned it.
Yeah, that's yeah. He noticed that mules talk in Morse code, and then he was like, "I'll bring that to the human. I'll bring that to the human world." That is my name.
That's crazy. I should.
That is silly. That is silly. I'm discovering this right now. It's like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. Oh, that is so silly. I'm discovering this at the moment. Anyway,
wrap this thing up.
God, wrap this thing up.
Wrap it up.
Thank you all for listening to From Our Perspective. As always, spread it with your friends. You know what? No, this time it's a call to action. Spread it with your friends, or I'm coming to find you and beat you up or something. I don't know. I'm not very hostile.
I will violate social distancing.
And like, I don't want to say I'm going to cough on you, because I feel like that could be like construed as it could be construed as like terroristic threatening.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'll
punch you.
I'll be within 5 feet of you. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's scary.
Take that. So yeah, spread it with your friends. If you have a topic for us, let us know. Within reason, we'll talk about it. Also, we're found pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. If we're not on a specific site that you want us to be on, that would be easier for you to listen to us, let us know, and we'll try our darndest to get on there. If you want to hear more from us, we also have social media. You could go there to see updates or clips or whatever we have for you. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at FOP_pod and on Facebook at From Our Perspective. Other than that, we post the podcast every Monday, and we will see you next Monday. I've been Trace.
And I've been Sam.
Goodbye.
Toodaloo.